What's new, crew? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm bringing you guys along with me while I make some new and some old snack recipes for my kids. I got a comment just a couple hours ago on a video saying, hey, can you bring us along for some of your in-home scratch cooking? And I thought, you know what, I'm gonna be making some snacks today. Let me just pick up the camera and film. So today we're making a clear out the pantry trail mix, and you guys will see just what I mean by that in a second. We're also going to be making a brand new recipe for myself, and we're gonna be trying to make some caramel corn. These are snacks for my kids that they can eat over the next week or two, or however long they last. Sometimes they only last a day. But we're gonna give those recipes a shot, and we'll bring you guys along, and I will link down below the caramel corn recipe. That way, if you wanna make it too, you can just click the link down in the description and go ahead and give that a try. I actually already made it. It's in the oven right now. It was super simple. I would recommend it. Haven't eaten it yet, so we'll see, but I'm excited to give it a go. Let's hop into all the snacks. Because it's the end of the month, I have a lot of half-empty bags in my pantry that I'm gonna need to clear out to make room for new things heading into the grocery shopping that I'm gonna be doing in about a week once the first of the month rolls around. And I'm sure a lot of you have bags that look just like this in your pantry, especially if you have kids. I'm going to show you guys how I use up these half bags, how I clear out my pantry and get ready for the new month. I've been doing this at the end of the month the last 2 months, and it's worked out fantastic. You're going to need a little bit of olive oil just so that your spices and seasonings stick. I like to keep it really simple with my spices, spice packets, whatever you want to do. One of our go-tos is just a ranch packet. Easy, simple, and really convenient because I always have these. The other one is cinnamon and sugar. This is really fun, both of these, especially in the fall time. I don't know why it tastes so much better then, but it just does. This is just homemade cinnamon and sugar, and by homemade I mean I just took some cinnamon and sugar and put it in a spice bottle and labeled it cinnamon and sugar. What I have here are some animal crackers, some, what the heck are these called? Vanilla wafers, Cheez-Its, pretzels. I have about a cereal bowl's worth of cereal. Raisins or something that you could also throw in. I've got some of these chocolate chunks I could throw in, as well as some walnuts if that's what your kids like. I'm going to leave the walnuts out. I just wanted to show you guys what you could throw in. I'll probably also leave out the raisins. I really only have these for making cinnamon raisin bread. That's one of my favorites. You're going to need some sort of mixing bowl. I'm also preheating my oven to 350 degrees. We are gonna bake these. All I'm going to do is just start dumping in a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'm going to give them a quick drizzle with that olive oil. You don't need a lot, just enough. You can always add more. You can never take away, so start conservatively. I'm just going to toss this. Now I'm going to take that ranch packet. Same thing, I'm going to start slow here. I'm going to put a little bit more of that ranch packet in, not a lot. Now I'm just going to take this and spread it on a baking sheet. I'm going to throw this on the oven. It doesn't take long, just a couple minutes.
Can I taste one?
Sure, go ahead and taste one.
I love cheese. I like it.
Yeah, I'm going to throw this in the oven for, I'd say about 5 minutes. Keep your eye on it though, because these will burn in like 2 seconds with the olive oil on them. Recipe number 2 I'm making for today is one that I've actually never made before. I'm trying it for the first time, and that is just some homemade caramel popcorn. It looked really easy and simple to do, so all you're gonna need is some sort of popcorn. I'm using microwave popcorn. You're gonna need a cup of butter, splash of vanilla, a little bit of corn syrup, you're gonna need some brown sugar, and then just a little bit of baking soda. The recipe also calls for salt, but what I always do is I actually just use salted butter, and then I just skip the salt. Don't tell my mother-in-law though, because she would probably disown me. I got this it is a salted caramel popcorn from, it's sugarspiceandglitter.com. I found it via Pinterest, like I find absolutely everything. So how we're gonna do this is melt the 1 cup of butter with a 1.5 cups of brown sugar and a 1/3 cup of corn syrup. I'm just gonna set this to the side. I'm sure now you're seeing how this reminds me of fall with all the like really pretty fall colors. You could add in whatever you wanted to in this. You could do Cheetos, Chex Mix. Oh, look at the real life happening behind my house. But I'm just gonna let this cool, and then I'll show you guys how I store my snacks as well. Once that Chex Mix cools down, I will probably also add in a little bit of that cereal that I showed you guys, and maybe even a handful or two of these chocolate chunks. So it's kind of like a sweet and salty Chex Mix, but do whatever you want. Like I said, you could always do Cajun seasoning. Whatever is your jam, you could definitely do. Alrighty, we got distracted. I have a cup of butter. I need a cup and a half of brown sugar. And a half. All right, 1.5 cups of brown sugar. Now, what we're making here is just a caramel sauce. So you can put this caramel sauce on top of anything. It does not have to be popcorn. You could easily put this on top of like cinnamon rolls, even pancakes. You could make this work. You could even put this on top of a Chex Mix or something and almost make like caramel bars or cereal bars. The possibilities on this are endless, and that's what makes me excited about learning new recipes like this. Is I think about all the other ways I can use this recipe. This melted together. Oh, it smells good. My husband's gonna come home from work and be like, what is smelling so good? It wants you to whisk this mixture consistently until butter has melted and brown sugar has dissolved. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes is what this website is saying. I have mine on like a medium heat. I'm gonna take it slow because I've never done this before. I don't wanna rush it and then have this burn on me or separate on me or something crazy. So we're just gonna keep this going. I'm gonna keep reading my instructions here. Once this is all melted, while we continue to whisk this together, it wants us to add the salt, a little bit of the vanilla, and our baking soda. It says not to be alarmed if baking soda is gonna make this bubble a little bit. So I'm not at that point yet. Mine is not quite melted yet, so we're just gonna keep stirring. Everything is completely melted in my caramel, so now I'm gonna add in the 1 teaspoon of baking soda. My first bag of popcorn's coming out. The recipe calls for 8 cups. I have no idea how many cups are in a bag of popcorn, so I'm just gonna pop 2. And guess what? Whatever leftover popcorn I have, I'm just gonna throw in with my Chex Mix, and it'll be like you know, no mistakes, just happy accidents. I never actually measure my vanilla, don't hate me. We just pour it in. There's no such thing as too much vanilla. It's just not a thing. The recipe actually says to cook your popcorn on top of those silicone baking mats. I don't have any, so it did say you could use parchment paper, so that's what I'm gonna go with. Is that 8 cups? I don't know. I guess we're just gonna pour the caramel over and put it in the oven for 4 15-minute cooking intervals. Every time you take it out, every 15 minutes, you're just going to stir the popcorn, break up any clumps or anything, and just retoss the popcorn to make sure that it's all coated. It says that this takes about 45 minutes to an hour, so it takes a couple sessions. But I'm just gonna coat this stuff really quick, get it in the oven, and of course I'll show you guys as we go along here how this actually looks. In the corner of my kitchen, my husband built me these really lovely shelves here, and I got these. I have 2 of these glass jars. I got them from Walmart. They're pretty affordable compared to some other jars that you can get. I wanted the ones that were glass so you could see through, so we could see what exactly was in the jars at all times, because sometimes things only last in this jar for a day or 2, and then there's something else in it, and if it's seen, people want it, it moves faster, versus if it were like a typical cookie jar and you didn't know what was in it, you forget about it, and then whatever's in it goes to waste. But this is our Chex Mix, a little bit of that popcorn, some of that cereal I said I was going to throw in. I also threw in some chocolate chunks, but this is our sweet and ranch trail mix that we will enjoy over the next week. My kids will love this. We'll just give it to them in like a bowl or something, and they'll sit on the couch and eat it, or they'll walk around and eat it. We really like walking snacks, so that's exactly what this is. Here is my second jar. This one's smaller than the first, and I like having them 2 different sizes. That way we can have a little bit of something and a lot of something else. but this is the jar that the caramel corn is going to go in. Caramel corn is still in the oven. I'll show you guys that here. We'll take a peek at our caramel corn. It's really starting to come together. I've just been taking it out every 15 minutes and giving it a stir. It's been in for about a little over half an hour, and it's looking amazing. It smells really good, and you're just gonna keep pulling it out and stirring it until it's hard and it's, you know, really well coated. Basically, it's really gonna adhere to the popcorn, and I think we are just about there. It smells so good, but that's going. Here's the caramel popcorn fresh out of the oven. It is spectacular, you guys. The salt level's perfect. I didn't add any salt. I did use buttered and salted popcorn though to start. If you wanted it to be a little bit more sweeter, you could maybe use kettle corn or something, but I don't know how I'm gonna stop making this. That's how good this popcorn is. I'm so excited. If you really wanted to, you could actually just throw this right in your Chex Mix. That would be amazing as well. Instead of adding the cereal and the chocolate, you could just add in some of this popcorn, or you could eat it just like this. This is spectacular. And what else would be really good in here is if you had some like leftover bacon crumbles and you put that on top. Oh, forget it. Like, forget it. I'm really excited about these. I'm just gonna let them cool completely. So I'm gonna let them sit for a while, and then I'm gonna break them apart and put them in our jar here and add them up to the shelf. And those are gonna be the snacks that we have until they are eaten through. And then I'm gonna make more of this popcorn because that's just how good it is. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I do plan on doing videos upcoming. The next one I do like this will probably be pizza crusts, because I want to get a couple of those in my freezer. And I think, give me your input here, I think it makes more sense for you guys going to look for recipes specifically if I just do a single video on pizza crust and another single video on bread, another single video on cinnamon rolls or something, versus putting them all in one video. That way it's just easier and more convenient for you guys to find them when you need them. So I think that's what I'm going to do, unless you guys give me a better idea or something that you would rather have down below in the description box. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye.